Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are all having a good week, or at least a good start to the week. It's been a little crazy this week, but I'm hanging in there. So hope you guys are all having a good time. Um, yeah. So let's start off today or tonight with some quick shout outs. And so let's see who's here. We got Linda Faust here saying hello to everyone. Donna Hoskins is here saying hey. Hey, Donna. We got Jackie from Stitch and Art. She's saying hello to everybody. Hi, Jim. How you doing? And hey, Miss Sandy. How you doing, girl? We got Katie Kraft saying hello, Katie. And Susan Yearout is here saying hello. So, hello. And we got Sandra K saying hi to everyone. Hi, Sandra. We got, let's see, Melody Kiefer saying hello. Hello, Melody. Welcome to the channel. We got Dice saying hi with the sunflower, kangaroo, and koala. So I'm assuming you're in Australia, or at least you're maybe from Australia. Did I guess right? Judy Hebert is here. Hello, Judy. And Chloe Morgan is saying hello to everyone. Hello, Chloe. Okay, then. Hey, Cam. Hope everything went well. Remo J is saying good evening, and she's reminding everybody to give a thumbs up. Thank you, Remo. And let's see. Sorry, my chat just kind of scrolled up and down. Okay, we got a lot of people saying hi to each other. Pearl Medina, how are you, girl? Glad you made it here tonight. And we got Charlotte De Roches. Hello, Miss Charlotte. Miss Around to It. Hello. Woke up to a dump of snow today in Calgary. Wow. Okay, well, stay warm there. Elizabeth Leslie is here. Good afternoon from New Zealand. Okay, Susan You're Out is here saying, going to watch my Kindle so I can get off my phone. Okay, Susan, well, glad you're still here. Laura Sup, what's up? Okay, let's see. We got Mary Jane Ellinger. She's saying hello, Mary Jane. And Miss Sheila, how you doing, girl? Glad you made it here tonight. And okay. It's been a good day, that says Kim. Well, that's very good to hear. Alrighty then. Well, first of all, how is everybody tonight? Hope you guys are all doing good. I know I keep saying that a number of different times during the live or at the beginning of the live, as someone told me, but I can't help it. Just glad that you guys are here. Okay. Some announcements here. Let's see, where's my announcement notes? Okay, so next Zoom for the QCR mini ruler will be coming up on May 11th. Now the question, I was asked a couple times a question as to the information or how to get the information for the Zoom. Now if you've been on, or if you were part of this month's Zoom or the past Zoom, the meeting information and the password is the same. It's not going to change. I am planning on sending out a reminder the closer we get to the actual Zoom date, which is May 11th, which is is it May 11th? I keep getting my date switched up. Yeah, it is May 11th, which should be the second Saturday of the month. If you have not joined, or if you want to join on this Zoom, you can email me at treasureheartcreations@gmail.com. It's also in the description to this video. And what we're doing is basically we are sewing and chatting. And well, I'm working on a particular project to create blocks like this. But we're all kind of working through different various projects from a pattern book, which I don't have here, but I can at least show you the ruler. So this is the QCR mini ruler from So Kind of Wonderful, and I have it backwards, sorry. So this ruler can actually do a whole lot of different quilt blocks, and there's an accompanying pattern booklet that you can purchase from So Kind of Wonderful. It's sokindofwonderful.com, and we've just been doing various projects with it. It's kind of like a virtual retreat, or basically it's like an extended live, but you can see me and I can also see you. So it's not broadcast, it's not recorded or anything like that. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I mean, we went for, let's see, we started at 1. We finally got off at about 6 p.m. Pacific time. So we went for a good couple hours. Yeah. Remo, yeah, that is Mother's Day weekend, but it's the Saturday. I know a lot of people probably might be traveling or might have company over. So I was kind of thinking about that too, but I'm going to hold that. You can kind of come in and leave as you need to. If you just want to get like maybe an hour or two of just sewing time and just having people to sew with, at least virtually. That's what the whole purpose of it is for. And again, it's not a class. I'm not teaching how to construct the block. The pattern booklet actually does a pretty decent job, and the company that makes the ruler actually has their own YouTube page where they can they kind of instruct you how to do it. So we do actually have a few people on the Zoom where they're not using this exact same ruler, but they are making curved blocks, and that's totally fine. They were just joining us on Zoom for the social aspect of it. So yeah, if you're interested, send me an email. And if you joined last time, again, it's the same meeting information, but I will be sending out a reminder closer to the day of the meeting information and the password. So check it out. It's fun. Hello, Miss Barb McKinley. I see you. Welcome to the live. Hope all are well with those crazy storms. Yes, I was talking to a coworker today. There's a lot of storms going all over the place, and a lot of natural incidents. I don't want to call them disasters, but now a natural incidents going on around the world. So yeah, a lot of crazy things going on. Sandra K says, love that ruler, made a mini wedding ring quilt block. Ooh. I was thinking about taking the class that they were having about the wedding ring. I should have joined, darn it. And I know somebody in here might have been interested in that. But she completed her wedding ring. What happens in live stays in live. It's my anniversary weekend. Family is coming to see me. Haven't physically seen my son since March 25th, 2021. Oh. Well, Remo, can you sneak away for a couple minutes? Or just shut yourself and lock yourself in the door? No, but I know you miss your family, so family is important. Okay. Or if your family drives you crazy you can escape with us for a couple of hours. Okay, so what's also going on tomorrow, I believe, I'm actually part of a collaboration that is sponsored by Sobeka. She's calling it the 2024 Traveling Quilt. And what it is there's a number of us YouTube creators that she invited to join in this project. And it's a row by row quilt. So each one of these creators that she invited, myself included, we're all doing one row to this quilt. And towards the end of the year, sometime I guess in December, all the rows that we create, or each creator makes, is going to be combined into one single quilt top. So my turn is not until November, but tomorrow, I believe tomorrow, if not tomorrow, then coming up real soon, the next creator will be how do you say, uploading their video. So that next creator is Amy Dement. Now, I actually checked out her channel, and she's got some very, very interesting videos. So it's worth your while to check out her channel, and if you like it, subscribe to it. So Amy Dement's channel is just basically Amy Dement. It's her name. And she's got an interesting perspective, so I thoroughly enjoyed watching her videos. Okay. You might... and if you're interested, you can also type in exclamation so Becca. In fact, I can do that for you, and it should give you a link. It should give you a link to Becca's channel. On Becca's channel, she actually has a whole playlist of all the videos that have gone up so far. So, I can never remember the order. Okay, so Becca was the first video. Then, was it Sean? Yeah, Sean, the guy who sews, was the second. Third one was Beth from Goody Good Quilts. And, well, you can check out the playlist. So, yeah, so that's coming up. And again, I will be the month of November. So I got a long ways to go. Okay. Let's see. Let me just kind of check in with the chat. Kim Burr says, we had quite a thunderstorm a few minutes ago. Still raining a little. Stay safe, Kim. Okay. Let's all pray that she's safe. Sheila Willis says, I'm not done with the devil wedding ring quilt yet, still trying to quilt it. Okay. Funny how you knew it was you I was talking about there, Sheila. Chloe Morgan says, Amy Dement is fun. Yeah, she is. Amy's role will be awesome. Yep. I watch Amy too. Okay, so there's a number of you that do know her. Okay. Hello, Molly. Molly Fisher is here. Hello, hello. So, what is the project for tonight? Well, oh, I need one more fabric. Well, before we get started, I figure I should show you, where did I put the blocks? Oh, here they are. So I am back. I've been kind of working on the Farmer's Wife Quilt. For some reason, I cannot talk today. Okay, I've been working on the Farmer's Wife Quilt, kind of on my own. And, well, I figure I just show you these blocks here. So this is the churn dash, which I believe is block number 20. I have it listed here. Yep. Churn dash, block number 20. Now, I figured I'm not going to do this on a live because, I mean, there's a dozen or more, probably 12 dozen tutorials about how to create this block. So I don't think you need me to show you how to do it. Then the Friendship Star. And Friendship Star is block number 41. Then I forgot which one this one is. Hold on, let me consult the book. Is it block number, oh gosh. 9? Yeah. I can't quite remember if we did this one live, but I know I was working on this. So block number 9, the box. Then you can see in the corner behind me, there's the other blocks that I know I did do on a live. So, and am I working or did I buy yardage for this? Absolutely not. All of these Farmer's Wife Quilts blocks, these are all just scraps that I had left over or that people gave to me. And I just want to use up the scraps. So some of them were kind of larger scraps, like fat quarter sizes that had like, they may have cut out or fussy cut some emblem out, but I took the other parts of it and just used it to make these blocks. So being resourceful. Okie dokie. I'll see you in November. I'm in too many so-alongs, but looking forward to seeing the final result. Okay. That was from Remo J. Remo J also says, have a bad case of vertigo. Ooh. Yeah, vertigo's not easy to deal with, but please get well, Remo. Y'all, I'm in the safest apartment building. It's all good. Okay, Kim. You picked out a good place. Well, thank you. Everybody's saying they're liking those blocks. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Miss June Hansen. How you doing? Hope everything's okay. All right. So let me switch cameras here for a second. Oh. Camera went off. Okay. So what is the block for tonight? It is block number 34. And yes, I am jumping around because not every single block I want to do. I actually only need, I think, 50 to make the lap size quilt. So, let me get you in a little closer to this. So this is the block that I'll be making tonight. I figure with this, these are basically half square triangle, and then half square triangle. So it's basically half square triangle galore. But in the booklet, this pattern booklet has you cutting out each triangle individually, then you sew them together to create the half square triangles. I'm going to do it a little differently because I'm not about to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 little small half square triangles. And I figure we could actually do this as a tutorial of a bit because I know some people out there, they know of the technique, but they might not know how to do the calculations behind the technique. And what I'm talking about is the 8 at a time half square triangles. Suzanne Taylor says, I got my copy of the book today, so I can't wait to start. Okay, Suzanne. Suzanne, one little tip, if you don't mind. You know, I actually took mine to an office or a printing store, and you see I put a spiral binding on there. It's pretty inexpensive to do. Most places here locally will charge maybe about $5 or $10 to do this. And let me tell you, doing a spiral binding on a book that was just doing this kind of spiral binding, I mean, it's worth it because I can lay the book flat as opposed to having a book with the regular book binding here and trying to hold it down like that. So if you do have the book, it's worth your time to just take it to some place like Office Depot or no, there's no Office Max. Office Depot will do it. I think if you have a Kinko's, they might be able to do it, but if you can do a spiral binding, I would highly recommend that you do it. Okay. So, what was I talking about? Oh, 8 at a time half square triangles. Okay, let me put the book on the side. So, I'm pretty sure most of you might have heard of this technique of doing 8 at a time half square triangles. Basically, we're making 8 half square triangles all at once. So, this I will consider my background. This I will consider my print. What I am going to do is, got my friction pen. And there's really no right side, or maybe there is. Okay, so on the back of this, I am going to make my diagonal line here and my diagonal line here, just like that. And on both sides of the diagonal line, I'm going to just sew a 1/4 inch away. Now, this square, or both of these squares, these are 5 inches. How I calculate that, and this is the calculation that I use whenever I want to use this method to create half square triangle units. So I know that here, this, or let's go with this, the whole block, the finished size of the block is 6 inches, which would make the unfinished size 6.5. So what that tells me then is this is basically in a 4-patch layout. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares there. The finished or the unfinished size of this square should be 3.5. So 3.5, 3.5, when you sew it together, it'll be 6.5. And when you put the entire quilt block into the quilt, it should finish at 6. So I know that this unit, or each of these squares, need to be 3.5. Now, breaking it down even further for these 2 units, okay, I figured out that each of these half square triangles, before it gets sewn together and before we start putting it into the quilt, the unfinished size of this half square triangle unit is 2 inches. 2 inches, 2 inches. It'll be 4, but then we forget the seam allowance, so we have to subtract 1/2 inch. So 2 inches, 2 inches minus 1/2 inch. That'll be 3.5 inches. So 3.5, 3.5, sew it together, you got a 6.5 inch. So I know then that my unfinished unit size of the half square triangle has to be 2 inches. So what size square, if I'm going to do this method of 8 at a time half square triangles, what size square do I need? Well, the formula is simple. Whatever your unfinished unit size is, or whatever size half square triangle, the unfinished size, in this case, it's 2 inches. You add 1/2 inch, then multiply it by 2. So 2 plus 1/2 inch is 2.5. 2.5 times 2, 5. Okay. I know people are like, ooh, math. But it's a simple formula. Okay. So if, for example, if I needed a 4.5 inch half square triangle, which is a pretty common size, then 4.5, add a 1/2 inch, that'll be 5 inches, times 2, you got a 10-inch block. So you can do a layer cake. And if you do a layer cake using this technique, then what you will end up with is a 4.5 inch unfinished half square triangle unit. I hope that made sense. So, okay, let's do this. So, got my diagonal lines drawn on. Again, I'm just going to sew 1/4 inch away from each of, or on both sides of those lines. Okay, rip it and flip it. One down the other way. Okay, sorry, let me switch to this view so you can actually see the sewing machine. For some people, that's very important to see, and my camera just went out, so sorry. Okay. Every so often the camera will do that. It will give you that color screen because these cameras can heat up very badly, and if it gets too hot in the camera, then it actually burns some of the mechanics inside. So it'll shut itself off temporarily just so that it can kind of control the heat within the camera, if in case you're wondering. Why do I tolerate it? Well, because the image quality on these cameras is actually pretty good, so I'll tolerate it. Okay, and one last time. Oh, missed the thread. There we go. Okay. So marked my diagonal lines, sewed a 1/4 inch away on both of those lines. And let me get out my rotating mat here. There we go. So now I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna measure, or I'm gonna cut this in half, both vertically and horizontally, or both ways. And if you have your rotating mat, now's the time to use it. So I'm just gonna cut that in half. Then I'm gonna cut on the diagonal. So the line that I marked earlier, I'm gonna cut right directly onto that line. And on both sides. Oh, I'm a little off there. And just like that, we have 8 half square triangles. They're a little bit bigger than 2 inches. Let's see. Let's measure this. They should be roughly around 2 inches. I am going to be squaring them up though. Oh, let's switch to this ruler. Yeah, so it's a little bigger than 2 inches. So I'm going to need to square it up or trim it down to 2 inches, in which I'm okay with doing that. My philosophy on making half square triangles is make it slightly bigger and then trim it down. Okay. Hey, Miss Nancy. Not sure how long I will be in here tonight. My son is dropping by on his way to work in the morning around 5:45 a.m. Oh, okay. Well, you can always catch the replay there, Jackie, but glad you stopped by. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these down to 2 inches here really quickly. Actually, you know what? This kind of light turquoise fabric, I know it's very stretchy, especially if I iron it. So let me just take these to the iron real quick. Ooh. Actually, the iron can come here because it's long enough. Now, someone told me that I could actually do this, in which, well, I heard through the grapevine that you can actually do ironing on bamboo. So here's a little tip. I bought this little cutting board. It's a bamboo cutting board from the Dollar Tree. Now, somebody told me that bamboo is very resistant to heat, and they said that they've been using this cutting board in their sewing space as like an ironing board, and like they didn't even cover it, although I kind of feel like I should cover it with at least maybe a couple layers of batting. But I don't know, for $1.25 for this size board, not bad. So if this actually does work, who knows? I mean, this is a good size for me at my sewing space, especially on small little things like this. And it is getting it flat. But the jury's out still, so I don't know. I just started doing this. Whoops. I'll let you guys know what I think of this. Okay. Has anybody else done this? Because this is the first time, or that was like the first time I ever heard of anybody doing it. And I'm like, really? You're doing it directly on the wood? She's like, yeah. Didn't even batting, nothing. Okay, can't get this one open. Okay, my question about this is I don't know if this board is going to warp over time. I mean, thus far it's still good. I'm not using steam on it, that's for sure. But seems to hold the heat in. So who knows? Maybe we just found a new hack. Okay, let's see. While I do this, let me read some of the comments that's been going on. Eric, what size ruler is that? Kim, are you talking about the QCR ruler? Hello, Nancy. She's saying hi. Katie Kraft says, I use bamboo cutting board as a clapper. Oh, interesting. I guess you could use it. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you for that one, Katie. I'm going to steal that one. Okay. And then Jackie says, I put HTV on wood, so it should be okay. Oh, okay. I just never would have thought of just using this small little cutting board as like an ironing board. Now, is it going to warp on me? Because I feel like a little bump is happening right there. Then again, for $1.25, Now I know that there are some people that have actually used this cutting board to construct other things. I've seen some people make like a square box out of it. I've seen people do like small mini bookshelves using this. So this small little bamboo cutting board has a lot of good uses to it, I guess. Oh, the creative grids, I got a whole set of them. Let's see. So I do have these square rulers. This is a 6.5. This is a 4.5. Here, these square rulers actually came in a whole set. So there's a 2.5. What is it? 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and 6.5. There's no 5.5. Interestingly. But I did get these that square ruler these square rulers as a set. You can find it on Amazon if you just look for the Creative Grids rulers. This ruler here, it's also Creative Grids. This is a 8 by 4.5. It's a good size for just cutting up small things here. And then I do have one more Creative Grids ruler that's a little bit longer. Yeah, sometimes you might see me pull out this guy. This is a, what is this? 6.5 by 18. So, and then of course I got more rulers at my actual cutting table there. Okay. And so with B's, so with Debbie. Hey, Debbie. She says, same as Katie. I use hardwood as a clapper. Okay. I never would have thought of using this as a clapper. Of course, I do have clappers. Okay. I don't know. We'll see about this. I'll let you guys know. Okay. Let's trim up these half square triangles. And this is 2 inches, so now, if there were a method of trimming up half square triangles much quicker, I would totally be on board with that. But I haven't found that method yet. Anybody have any bright ideas? Because I'm all ears for this. That's one. And okay. Now, normally when I do half square triangles, I do square it up using a different technique. If you say, I don't usually square it up like this because to me this kind of just takes a little too much time. I'd rather just do it quick and easy. Now, of course, if I need something to be a little bit more exact, then I think this is probably the best way to do it. It's not the fastest way for me, but if I'm working with small pieces like this, I mean, again, these are 2 inches here, then I really need it to be accurate, then I will use this technique. It just takes a bit of time. Yeah, I am very not good with this. Okay. Now, I would like to say thank you to everybody that liked and shared the video that I posted last, was it last Wednesday? No, last Wednesday, where I talked about the friction pen. I knew I was going to open a can of worms with that, and I basically did. A lot of people had their opinions. Even before the video went up, they saw the preview and they were already emailing me their thoughts about the pen. But and I read every single comment that came to me, so thank you guys very, very much. Of course, the common question that people were all asking was, why didn't I wash the fabric? And truth be told, I did think of doing that, but why am I turning it when I can turn the turntable? Duh. I was kind of considering whether or not I wanted to wash the fabrics, and I thought, there's so many other variables to that. I really just didn't want to approach that. But in nearly three-fourths of the comment that I got from that video was the question, or in the comments, the common question was, why didn't I just wash one of the fabric samples? So I am planning a follow-up video to it where I'm actually going to wash those fabric samples to see if it actually does anything. From what I've researched with what Pilot says, Pilot is actually the creators or the makers of the friction pen. And from what they're saying is you actually have to use a certain type of ink removal if you really want to get it fully out. But what they say and what actually happens, I mean, they could be just trying to sell me another product. So yeah, but I don't know, the chatter that I hear online from others and people that I've talked to, it's kind of 50-50 whether or not the marking will come back even after you wash it. Some people say that it does. Some people say that it doesn't. And I guess the result is more or less dependent upon some other parameter. One thing about the test that I did do, I mean, it was pretty simple. It's either too hot or too cold. So it'll make it disappear or reappear. There's no other real major factor in there, but which is, again, part of the reason why I didn't want to do the washing test, because I knew, like, I had to consider what type of detergent you're using, what type of fabric you're using. Number one, what kind of washing machine you're using, front load, top load, even the dryer is as a factor. Using powdered, liquid detergents. So, but we'll see. I'm trying to think of different scenarios that I could do on the follow-up video, so stay tuned for that. But again, just thank you for those of you guys who saw that video, liked, commented, and even shared the video. It was fun to do, I will say that. I would have never thought to use a bamboo cutting board as a little pressing station. Yeah, Susan, I'm giving it a try. I don't know how well it's really going to do, and I'm imagining that maybe over time the board might start to warp, but we'll see. I just don't know how well bamboo does. Well, it's supposed to deal with heat really well. That's why it grows in a lot of tropical places, from what I read, but we'll just have to see. Katie Craft says, I have a large cutting board that I never used, and it works great on completed blocks. Oh, okay. So I guess I'm not the only one in this camp. Again, I've never heard of using a cutting board as an ironing board, or a clapper. But now that I know. Molly Fisher says, I like using that pen and always use it as my go-to. Okay. Have you tried trimming HSTs before you press open? I have, and that's usually my method of trimming HSTs. But again, with this lighter turquoise fabric, I know it does stretch under heat, so I wanted to make sure that I stretch it before I trim it down. So, which is why I pressed it open before trimming it. Chloe Morgan says, loved your video about friction pens. You reminded me of Alton Brown. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Sandra K says, that reminds me, friction pens, Dawn dish soap removes the ink. Ooh, I will have to write that down because I was thinking maybe dishwasher soap might help. Thank you for that tip, Sandra. Jackie says, I use chalk on dark fabrics, light colored friction pens on light fabrics. Okay. Hey, Miss Soteri. Glad you made it here tonight. And okay, Jim says, I use a small cutting board for small blocks. Okay. So I guess there are people, or more people than I thought, that use cutting boards for these blocks. All right. So we got that one. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do this one. Now this I'm going to use as the larger half square triangles, in which I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to do 2 at a time. Let's see, that needs to be 3.5. Well, let's just make our half square triangles and I'll trim it down. I know I'm going to get a lot of excess here, but that's okay. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Camera's over here. Ooh, that is hot. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to make these half square triangles 2 at a time, as opposed to the 8 that I had here. And for that, I just drew one diagonal line, sewing on both sides of that diagonal line, and we're going to eventually cut it. Oh, broke thread. I broke my thread. Okay, not a problem. I'm just going to have to rethread it real quickly. Oh. Haha! Got it through on the first attempt. It's a miracle. Usually I spend like 5 minutes just trying to find the hole. Okay, so got one side. We'll sew down the other side. Okay, so got that sewn. And let's see. Trim it right down the middle. Now this time, I know I'm gonna, what did I say? I need 3.5. That's right. 3.5. So this square is a little larger. Now I'm still using this fabric that's gonna potentially stretch, but I'm not gonna worry about that for this large of a square. So this time I am gonna do my normal cutting method, or my normal trimming method, I should say. 3.5 mark there, 3.5 mark there, right on the sew line, or right where I sewed. Trim that, and then we should have a 3.5 inch square or half square triangle here. And this is going to be one interesting looking block. Yep, got it pretty close. Well, not 100% accurate, but close enough for me. So, and then 3.5 here, 3.5 here. Trim, trim that, trim that. And I'm just going to finger press, trying not to stretch it out, but I'm not so worried about this quilt being totally accurate. I am going to snip these dog ears there, here. Okay. Bring in the cutting board. Let's just give it a quick press. There. Quick press. There. Okay, so let's lay everything out. So I got my background, 4 of them here. I got one half square triangle here. The other big half square triangle is here. Then again, background, there, and there. Oh, let me move it up so you guys can see it better. There. Okay. Hey Sandra, get some sleep. Hey, so Terry. Dawn dish soap is a fantastic stain remover. Okay, Kim. So I'm going to give that a try and put that to the test. Suzanne Taylor says laundry soap works for friction pens. Okay. I had to do my own friction pen thing. Washing definitely did not remove it. Okay, so Sandra K says she's in the did not remove it category. There's a lot of people that say that it does remove it. So we'll have to see. Okay. A lot of people talk to each other. So, oh boy, my wake up early time and the stressful days making me sleepy. Well, okay. Good night, Judy. Thanks for stopping by. June Hansen says, Eric, I like the colors of your blocks. Well, thank you, June. Okay, let's get this black sewn. So I'm going to start with these smaller half square triangle units. Okay, and while I do this, you know what? Wait, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So I'm gonna press this one to the left. No, this way. That's right. Okay, we'll get this one on. Okay, so this one can come on and goes to the right. Oop, sorry about that. Yeah, it's definitely getting a lot warmer here in Los Angeles, so these cameras are going to do that a lot more often. So this is left. Right, let's put these two together. And I can nest the seams right there. That's good. So this one goes left. Okay. Before I forget, let me do this. Okay, so a quilting friend of mine, wait, did I press them? Oh, this one goes this way. So a quilting friend of mine here locally, we have this kind of heated debate about something. Her opinion on things was that, you know, she had a pattern. Granted that the pattern was, well, it was free, yeah. She downloaded it from somewhere. No, how do I explain this? Okay, she had a pattern in which she did pay for the pattern. But what she also did was she made Xerox copies of that pattern and gave it to some of her friends. And she, you know, she offered for, do you want a copy? She offered that, a copy of the pattern to me. And I said, you know, that's really unethical, talking to her. I said, no, I don't want a pattern. I'll buy it for myself. And she kind of took it badly, where I was kind of, or she took it in a way that I was telling her that I didn't like her. So because I didn't like her copy of the pattern. And we got into this whole discussion about patterns, making copies of patterns and sharing it with people. To me, I kind of feel like it's very, very unethical for someone to, even if you do purchase the pattern, for you to make Xerox copies of it and send it out to others. I don't know if that's, me personally, I just think that's really just unethical. So, but then we kind of went off on tangents, different tangents there, because we kind of created like different scenarios. Well, what if the pattern is free? Well, what if the pattern, I mean, if you guys all chipped in and bought the pattern, or one person bought the pattern and then kind of distributed among each all of the group, whoever contributed in. But to me, I don't know. I know there's people that do that, but it just kind of raises an ethical question for me personally. Not passing judgment about anybody, but I want to hear what you guys think. Is it okay to copy and distribute quilt patterns and share it among people or different quilters, maybe your friends or whatnot? And is it okay to do that even if it's a free pattern? Because, you know, a lot of people like to, like I know a lot of fabric designers will create patterns and they will distribute the pattern for free because they want to encourage you to actually buy the fabric. And I know a lot of quilt shops will actually do that too. But, you know, when it comes to a paid pattern, I mean, for me, working in the financial industry, I see how hard it is for small businesses and what they have to struggle with. And every little penny, when you're a small business, every little penny counts. So, I don't know. Just for me personally, I just don't think it's ethical, but I know people do it anyway. And again, not passing judgment on that. That's just my own personal opinion. But where do you guys all stand with that? Even if it's a free pattern, then I probably would copy it for somebody or just tell them, hey, go download it from the website. Okay, so Terry says you shouldn't share a paid pattern if you're sitting in a room with friends sewing it up. That's one thing, but don't give it out. Yeah, I would do that. Like if we had like a sew date, we all share the pattern. You know, at least it's just like, and in that respect, yeah, we're not making copies of the pattern. I think the problem that I have with that, or the problem that I have, is making copies and distributing that. Copy it for yourself, but no sharing. Okay, that's Suzanne Taylor. I would agree with that. Again, not passing judgment on it. I mean, I know, you know, each to their own. Personal use only. That's Jackie. Most pattern designers say that it isn't to be shared. That's true. That is true. I know, who is it? Bonnie Hunter. When she comes out with her mystery quilt, I mean, even though she provides the pattern as a free pattern initially, she does ask people not to like do it on YouTube or not to distribute it like that. She encourages people to just download the pattern itself from her website, and she will ask people not to like, if you are going to make copies, just do it for personal. And you know, I try to be respectful of that. But then again, with money onto patterns, there's a lot of small, teeny tiny pieces. So not my thing to do, but the quilts come out beautiful. Okay, June said, straight up answer, no. I love that, June. Jim says, I only copy if there are stencils, so not cutting good copy. Ah, okay. Okay. So like if there's a template or if there's kind of like an applique pattern. Yeah, I could see, I would do that. Barb McKinley says, I agree with Eric. That's the creator's money we're taking from them. Free patterns would be okay. Okay. So with Debbie says, I agree, Eric. If there is a copyright bug, You know, that's another issue because I know a lot of like I hear some issues with pattern between pattern writers or pattern designers that they always have this copyright claim that someone steals their pattern. And that's becoming a very, very big issue apparently. In fact, someone actually I do have a copycat on YouTube here. I'm not going to say who the person is, but I've been noticing like as soon as I come out with a video, they will come out with a very similar video. And you know, honestly, I really just don't care because this is not a business for me. But if this were a money-making enterprise where Treasure Hut Creations was an actual business, I might say something about it. But you know, yeah, for me, I'm not making, or this is not a business for me, so. Okay, I do have another ironing board here next to the side of me, so if I need to hit it with steam, I'll use that ironing board, but I don't know, I might start using this a lot more. Okay, let's get these seams flat, and let me read the comments here. So, free patterns, I send them the link to the pattern. Okay, okay. Janice Vanderstack, hello Janice, glad you made it. Katie Kraft says, small businesses have it tough. I don't share copyrighted patterns, okay. What if it's not copywritten? Would you still do it though? So what Debbie says, some patterns say you can distribute up to X amount of times for free. That's interesting. I forgot about that because some designers or some pattern creators want to just kind of promote them as a pattern designer. So, that's interesting. Laura Sup says, if it's free, I think sharing a copy is fine. I make a working copy for my personal use only. I don't like to write my notes on my books or patterns. Okay. That seems to be a popular thing to do. Bonnie charges the patterns after a few weeks. Yeah, she does. Yep, she does. So after, I think like somewhere around February when the mystery quilt is finally done, she starts charging for the pattern. Molly Fisher says, absolutely not. It's infringement and hypothetically one could be sued. Yes, Molly, that's definitely true. But she says if it's free online, you could share it. Yeah. The tricky part with the free pattern, especially if it's coming from an online website, some pattern company or some fabric companies, they will put out free patterns out there. But if they decide to all of a sudden start charging for that pattern, yeah, it could put some of us in trouble, which is why a lot of YouTube creators don't use the free patterns from these fabric company or anybody really, because once they start charging for it, they could we could get ourselves into legal trouble. Of course, we can argue that, hey, at the time, maybe if we do it on a video, maybe at that time it was free. We could argue that, but yeah. There is a certain pattern developer who claims someone copied their pattern. They hadn't put the designer, but the designer harassed them anyway. I won't buy anything from that designer. Oh, okay. So Katie Crafts, yep. She knows that it's been going on. Okay. But it was interesting that this quilting friend that I was talking to, she had no problem doing that. And I'm like, I don't know, just ethically, it just didn't sit right with me. Okay. Well, guess what, guys? Here is my version of the block. I was kind of skeptical about this fabric here. Actually, let me go a little closer. I was actually skeptical about this fabric here. whether it would work in all of this. Now I do have another 5, or I could have actually used this darker fabric, but I kind of felt like that would be too repetitious. I don't know. Is there enough of a how do I say this? Like, is there enough difference in this fabric and this fabric for it to stand out? I think so, because the pattern on this fabric is different from this, although the color is pretty close. We'll see if I don't, but I kind of like this block. It's very, very turquoisey and very, very bluish, which is what the quilt actually needs behind me, because I was looking at all the blocks, well, the blocks over there, and I see a lot of gray, a lot of pink, a lot of purple. So I said, okay, we need to start using some other colors in there. So, yeah. Jackie says, that happens with a lot of machine embroidery designs too. That's true, Jackie. I didn't think of that. Interesting. Because you can download a machine embroidery pattern onto like one of those USB charge stick, memory stick things, and hey, just kind of hand it out to different different embroiderers, as well as I noticed that a lot of embroiderers come out with the same design too. So interesting. And then Kim is saying it's a good contrast. Okay, Kim, I trust your judgment there. A lot of people are saying, okay, so it does look, the contrast looks good on screen. Okay, I have to check out this video later. A lot of people saying looks good, very nice. Okay, thank you guys. So we're, oh, I can see it. Oh yeah, there is enough contrast in there. Okay, so add this block to the stack of blocks, and yeah. So what time is it? Ooh, we're a little bit over, but I was having fun. Hope you guys were having fun too. All right, so thank you guys for joining me here tonight. We shall call it a live, but if there's any last minute questions, I'm gonna hang on for a couple of seconds here. But again, I appreciate you guys joining me here live tonight. Again, don't forget about Amy Dement and her, I think it's Amy Dement. I hope, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is her. But again, just go check out Sobecca's channel and look for the playlist that has the 2024 traveling quilt. The video should be going up soon. It's actually due on May 1st, which yeah, it is tomorrow. But, you know, some of us are a little late, or a day or two. But just keep out a watch. Keep a watch out for that. And again, thank you for all of you guys for all of your comments on the friction pen video. Just know that I am trying to work up a follow-up video to that. And I heard all of your comments about washing it, and you guys gave me some good suggestions here tonight on what to do. So thank you, thank you. And again, coming up is the next Zoom chat using the QCR mini ruler. So if you are interested in joining on that, send me an email. Email is in the description box below. All right, if there's no other questions, well, please take care of your guys' selves. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe for some of you. Stay cool for some of you too, and stay warm for others of you. But just really appreciate you guys spending your Tuesday evening, or maybe late night, with me, because I know that there's a lot of YouTubers out there that you could be following, but you chose to spend time with this weird YouTuber. So thank you guys. All right, I'm going to say good night and take care. And you know how I always end it. So let's all get out there and let's create something. Mwah. Bye for now.